Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Ace, and I am joined tonight by, that's right, Mr. Trey Collis. How you doing tonight, my man?
I've been doing better. Some of these NBA playoff games were a lot better, but
I know they were kind of horrible today.
But I got some good use of softball watching and why that. But I mean, yeah, I'm Saturday night. We're happy to be here. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm kind of nervous because I don't know what all is going to be in store tonight. But
you just never really know. But yes, you are right. This is an actual episode of Sports Minute. We just happen to have a special guest tonight in Trey, and J Mac will actually be on very soon here momentarily. Once he's finishing doing what he's doing, he will be on. And Christy Wilson, I want to say hello and thank you for watching Sports Minute. I'm looking forward. And as you guys know, tonight is actually open forum night. We always do that on Saturdays. And so basically what it is with open forum is you go ahead and throw out pretty much any questions you have, sports related, and we will go ahead and talk about it. So Christy, I see you're over there. I see you already left a comment. So if you want us to talk about anything, go ahead and throw the question in the comment box, and we will go ahead and talk about it. Chris, if you have anything, go ahead and put it in the comment box. We'll talk about it. Anybody who leaves a comment, we will try and touch on that subject. All right, so Trey, since you're the special guest tonight, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start out with you and say, is there a topic right off the bat that you want to go ahead and start off with?
Man, so much.
So much.
Actually, I want to get your intake. I don't know if y'all covered this yet, but that Javi Baez Cubs Pirates game with the stupidity of that.
Oh, man. So I watched that play, and I want to know how does that happen? How does a runner score from second base on a ground ball hit to the pitcher and you are hit to the first base and you get no outs? No outs. Like, you made the Pirates look like a little league team. So Trey, you can go ahead and give me your thoughts on that too. Like, really? How?
Brain farting, basically what the Pirates are doing all season, but brain farting. Guy, you know what? I give it up to Baez, man. That guy, he thought of it. He's like, oh, I'm already out anyway. Might as well see if this guy will, if I lure him in to try to chase me a little bit and see if he makes a boneheaded mistake. And it's just a mental clips error. I mean, the first baseman didn't even have to throw it. All he had to do is turn around and go jog back to first and then be out of the inning. I mean,
that was it. And that's why I'm looking at the play going, okay, your first baseman, the ground ball has hit you at first base. Instead of going and touching first base, you decide to try and get the guy in a rundown between home plate and first base. And instead of just tagging him, you decide to try and throw the ball to the catcher and hoping that he can tag the runner, and the runner scores, and then it's an overthrow at first base. So then he gets from first to second. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. How does this even happen?
I don't know. And even though after that stupid boneheaded mistake, the second baseman on a typical rundown usually between first and second and third, right? Or third and other than first. I never said first to home before, but it's first to home pickle play. I never seen that before in my life. The second baseman, after that boneheaded mistake, all he had to do was go cover first base so the catcher could throw it over to him, and he couldn't even do that. So it was a whole team collapse. I tell you what, though, if I was a pitcher or the catcher on that team, I'm running towards the first baseman, grabbing him and carrying him over. Something has to happen there.
Right, which I do believe that the first baseman's name on the Pirates is like Kyle Wilson. So what's so funny about it is they actually went back in there on his Wikipedia page. Somebody actually went back in there and changed it and said the first person in MLB history to be tricked to get in a rundown between the catcher and first base, and you're the first baseman. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. You're the first person to ever. That is as bad as it gets.
You probably see it in high school, little league, maybe even college, and maybe a little bit. But I never thought I'd see it in the pros. And oh man, that's gonna be on SportsCenter's non-top 10 for like ever. And it's gonna be on DVDs, and it's gonna be on coaching clips. Like, this is not what to do.
Right, exactly. I can see him doing it in like little league and Babe Ruth stuff. They're like, hey, we're going to play this tape of a professional team of the Pittsburgh Pirates doing this boneheaded play. Let's not ever do this.
That's Javi Baez, though, man. He's always thinking of something. Man, have you ever watched some of his highlights, like how he gets out of pickles, how he avoids tags? So, like, his creative mind is better than probably 90% of the MLB there is out there. But that's just stupidity-ness of the first baseman. I just couldn't believe it in my own eyes.
Yeah, but you know, even Javi Baez at that point is sitting there going, how'd I do that? Exactly. How did I do that? Like, to him, he's shocked. So, J-Mac, just in case you're wondering what we're talking about that boneheaded play that the Pirates got tricked on when the runner got the rundown home plate in first base, and he made it to second base, and the guy on second base still scored on a ground ball hit back to first base. So, what is your thoughts on that?
I work with a Pirates fan, and I asked him about that. I'm like, so how about your team being a little league team on that play? He said only the Pirates could pull that off. Only the Pirates.
Well, the one thing that I will throw out about the Pirates today, though, I don't know if you saw, they actually managed to win a doubleheader today. Now, they did beat the Colorado Rockies. They beat the Rockies. So you have two of the worst teams in the National League going against it. So somebody was going to win. So you're going to either have the Pirates win or the Rockies win. And I'm sorry, Trey. I think you're a Rockies fan. I apologize.
I'm not a Rockies fan at all, man.
You're not?
No, I'm not a Rockies.
Well, then what? Okay. So you might have answered this question before, but I thought I saw you in a Rockies hat at one point. Was that you?
Wasn't me.
On your profile pic?
Nope.
Okay. So I was wrong then.
I will say this though. I will say this: when I was a little kid, about 4th or 5th grade, I lived in New Mexico. We don't have and we got all the Rocky game whenever the new team on the block. I did get Rocky gear there when I was a little kid, but I've never been a Rocky. I've always been a Yankee guy.
Yeah, and what was so funny about that though too is that I worked with an individual when he first started. And he walks in with the Colorado Rockies hat. And I'm like, oh, this guy's a sports fan. Cool. I can talk to him about baseball. So I go up to him and I'm like, hey, man, so, the Rockies, well, what do you think? And the guy's like, who? And I'm like, the Colorado Rockies. He's like, who's the Rockies? I was like, you're wearing their hat? He's like, oh, I found it at Goodwill and I liked the design, so I just bought it. Like, dude.
You know how many times I make that mistake? I make that mistake, like the people are wearing, like they're just wearing the same color hats or outfits as it matches there. I'm like, oh, dude, you're a Cub fan. How about them Cubs win the World Series? Oh, they won the World Series? I'm just wearing the hat because it's cool. And I'm like, oh my god, how many times I hate that? Like it irritates me as a sports fan. Like you're wearing sports gear and you don't represent. It just irritates me.
So we do have a question, our first fan question of the night. And Trey, I know you saw this coming. Okay, how about the Vegas Golden Knights? And you knew the hockey question was coming. But you know what? It's the Vegas Golden Knights, and Christy Wilson was wanting to know about them. So when it comes to the Golden Knights, this is what I'll tell you about the Golden Knights. The Golden Knights are one of those, those rare young teams that you see, because you got to think that when the Vegas Golden Knights first came out, like, they were the first team to ever make it to the finals as an expansion team. That's just something that you never ever see. And then this year, I actually didn't think that they would make it past the first round, and I was wrong. So
they almost didn't.
Well, no, they almost didn't, but they won the series 4-3. And so I'm looking at that going, you know what? It's the Vegas Golden Knights. Why should I not be surprised right now? Because this is a young team. They're hungry. They're constantly they to me, I feel like they kind of overachieve because they're such a young team at this point. You wouldn't think that they should still be as good as they are. J-Mac, what is your thoughts on the Vegas Golden Knights?
I mean, they pulled it out. They pulled it out even if they 4-3. I also didn't think they were going to make it out of the first round. And yeah, Trey's right. They almost didn't, but they did. And hats off to them. I mean, they're a young team, but looks like they're going to be pretty consistent the next few years to be a consistent player every year.
They are, but the next round for them is going to be tough because they are going up against the Colorado Avalanche, and that is not going to be an easy series whatsoever.
Well, saying that, the Colorado Avalanche have choked in the playoffs the last couple of years too.
They have
because the Dallas Stars had last year. Dallas Stars should not have beat that team, and the Dallas Stars went on and won.
But I was happy though because last year I said the Dallas Stars was going to be there, and J-Mac and I, when we had talked about it, we said it was going to be Dallas Stars and Tampa Bay Lightning. The only difference was I actually had the Dallas Stars winning, but J-Mac had the Tampa Bay Lightning winning. That was the only difference. Now, when you look at that Dallas Stars team, last year they were a really good team. Now, we knew that series between the Avalanche and Stars was going to be good. We knew it, and we said it was going to go down to the wire. Should Avalanche have won? Probably. I mean, they probably should have. But you're right. They kind of do a choke job. Is the Avalanche going to be good enough to beat the Vegas Golden Knights? They could, but I don't think they will. I think this Vegas Golden Knights team right now is too young, too hungry, and I think that you could actually see them back in the finals again.
I mean, I'm not a big hockey guy, as most of y'all know, but I did watch last year. Intrigued me a little bit. Well, the year before that, when Vegas went to, like you said, the first expansion to make the finals, I fell in love. My cousin's a big Vegas guy. He lives in New Mexico, and they get all the Vegas names. He just loves the Vegas Knights. So I see every night when they won or whatever. So I follow them regularly, like I know they won or lost. And then, but then I was always been a big Dallas Stars fan back before when they won the Stanley Cup in '99. When I think it was Brett Hull when they went to triple overtime or something in Game 7, and his skate was in the what's it called? The blue thing. The crease.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? Okay.
Yeah, the crease. I'm sorry. I'm in basketball mode. But yeah, and there was big controversy over that. And then the strike happened. And that's when hockey left me because ESPN wasn't carrying it anymore. You had to have a special note. And that's why I lost a lot of fans. Now that it's bringing it back. I love playoff hockey. I think playoff hockey is probably the top two playoff sports in the world to watch. I think it's high drama every night. Every goal matters. It's fun to watch. So, but yeah, going back to that Dallas Stars team, they had great defense last year, and that's what carried them majority of the way until they faced a hot Tampa Bay Lightning team, who was a better team all year. But Vegas Knights, like you said, they're young, they're hungry. This team knows how to win now. Like you said, they were the finals a couple of years ago. They were a game away last year to making it back-to-back trips. So, I mean, hockey, you don't know what's going to – I mean, we saw what happened to the St. Louis Blues, right? They were in last place with halfway through the season. They come back and they win the Stanley Cup. So – hockey, if you just get hot at the right time, you're going to win.
Yeah, but let me throw this out there, though. It's a weird NHL season when the Maple Leafs do as well as they did because the Maple Leafs has been that franchise in hockey for years that everyone's like, dude, this team's bad. Like, they were like the doormat of the NHL for so long. They were classified as like one of the worst NHL franchises for a very long time, because their last like Stanley Cup Finals was back in 1967. So you look at that, and ever since then, they never really made the playoffs. They were that bad of a franchise. And so, J-Mac, anything that you want to elaborate or talk about with this, with the Golden Knights?
Well, he brought up the Maple Leafs. I'll say the Golden Knights are going to be there. They'll make a series of it against the Avalanche, because Trey's right. The Avalanche don't play well in the playoffs. I don't know what it is with that team. They just don't. But then you brought up the Maple Leafs, and who did the Maple Leafs play that are in the top 5? They played all Canadian teams. So
Exactly.
I don't know you give much credit.
Well, no, but you still have to give them credit for at least being in the playoffs. That's something that they don't normally get there. And so, before we go a little farther, what's up, Randy Cox? What's up, Brandon Herrera? And so, I do want to say, keep in mind, it is open forum. So if you have any questions for us, go ahead and put it in the comment box, and we will talk about it. But Brandon Herrera is saying the Golden Knights suck. They are an overrated. They do not suck, and they're not overrated.
Suck. They went to the finals as an expansion team. They made the playoffs every year they've been in the league. How do they suck, Brandon? You're just a crap starter, dude. I'm sorry. You just want to stir the pot, man.
Well, no, he's mad because his Minnesota Wild lost to them.
Well, you know what, Brandon? Find new teams, because your Minnesota teams suck. It's time to all your teams just suck.
You name one Minnesota sports fan that you know that isn't delusional.
I can't, because I really don't know much Minnesota sports fans.
Right. You don't. It's like trying to run into a Detroit Lion fan. It's just something that you're going to see few and far between. You're just not going to see it. But let's go ahead and keep those questions going, guys. Pop them in the comment box, and we'll keep the show going for you. Okay, so here's a question. Our question is, who do you think is going to win the NBA championship?
Oh, man. They want to get me heated, don't they?
Yeah. So if you watched Speak Out with myself and Trey on Wednesday, you will have heard that I had predicted that you will see the Nets actually win the NBA championship. I said it would be the Nets, and as much as I didn't want to say it, I said it would come down between I don't know. It's hard not to put the Lakers up there at the top. I don't think that they'll be in the championship, but I think it'll be the Nets, and I'm gonna throw a shot in the dark here. I'm gonna throw it out there, and I'm gonna say the Jazz are gonna make it.
The Lakers are a 7 seed.
Well, they're not the typical number 7 seed.
They're not the typical 7 seed. All right,
if they're typical number 7, number 4.
So, J-Mac, then who do you see right now in the NBA Finals?
Well, I agree with you on the Nets. I think the Nets are too in the East. The East is always easier to go through than the West is. So I think the Nets in the East for sure. In the West, I got a dark horse team in the West as the Nuggets, actually.
Oh, the Nuggets. Okay. The Nuggets. I don't think the Nuggets are going to get there. Trey is back. Okay. No, you have the Nuggets, but aren't you at all concerned that Jamal Murray is not playing? Because he kind of.
But I think that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's gone. All right, so Trey, so you're there with me. So you obviously had the Nets too, but who do you have going up against the Nets?
Hate to say this. Hate to freaking say this. It's going to be the Lakers.
No. All right.
I'm just looking at the paths, man. I think they have the easiest road if they get past Phoenix. if Phoenix wins this series, I think Phoenix can go. But I don't see Phoenix doing it because Chris Paul snaked in. But the way the Lakers play defense, man, I mean, they don't have to score. They play great defense. Let's just be honest. I don't trust Denver after today. If Denver would have went out today and won, the problem I have with Denver, even though without Jamal Murray,
they're inconsistent.
They're inconsistent. They don't have that killer instinct, like step on the throat and get them. Like they're content, like still in one game. That's what it looked like today. And you can't win like that in the playoffs.
But Lillard and McCollum are no joke either, though. You know, and then you have Carmelo Anthony, which is top 10 all time in points. So
right. But Lillard and McCollum didn't even have a good game today. Lillard didn't score hardly anything in the first half, and they were down 12 going in halftime. They just didn't have. I don't know. I mean, Porter Jr. is going to have to step up for the Denver Nuggets. He's going to have to. He should have, before his injury, he was a top 3 pick in the NBA draft, and then the injury derailed him and he slipped in the draft. He should be a great player with his athletic skills and everything like that. But Utah, I just don't trust. If they're not going to hit the threes, I mean, right now they're just blowing out the Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies came and tied it up with 6 minutes left to go in the game. So the Lakers, if they win tomorrow, I think they're the clear, because I think the Lakers are just going to get healthier as they play and get better chemistry. Now, we'll say this: Luka Doncic, the shoulder holds up and they get past the Clippers and they win in 5, and he rests that shoulder. I can see the Dallas Mavericks making a push to the NBA Finals as well. But right now, I just have to pick. I'm going with it. I'm not going dark horse. Until you beat them, you got to beat them. I think the Lakers are going to do it. I don't think they're going to win the championship. I think they're going to make it. I don't think anyone's going to beat the Nets.
All right, so you've heard our predictions, but if you want to hear any more NBA stuff, you will check out myself and Trey on Wednesday nights on Speak Out, because right now we're doing all NBA on Wednesday night. So you can, or no, I'm sorry, that was on Thursday night. On Thursday night, yes, you can catch us on Thursday night on Speak Out. So if you want to hear more NBA stuff from us, catch us on Thursday night. Now we do have a few more questions that are throwing out here, except Brandon actually has a comment that's saying, Trey, you're right, Minnesota team sucks.
They do.
So he's completely agreeing with you that.
I got a question. Besides the Minnesota Lynx, who's the last champion that Minnesota's actually had? Ooh. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Minnesota Vikings?
No, I think it's the Lynx.
Twins.
No, I think it's the Lynx. I don't think.
I'd say besides the Lynx.
Oh, besides the Lynx. Okay, yes, it would be the Twins, because the Vikings are 0-4 in the Super Bowls. They've never won one, so you can't classify that. But
right.
So all right. So our next question comes from Christy Wilson, who is saying, "What are your thoughts on the WNBA season so far?"
Oh, good God. Adam, go, buddy.
No, all right, yeah, no, it's fine. I got this. So the WNBA season so far, it's still young. Like the WNBA basically just started. You basically have your 2 top tier teams, which I've said was going to be top tier coming into it. You have your Las Vegas Aces, and then you also have your Seattle Sparks. So when you look at those are going to be like your top 2 teams. I personally like the games that they have put on so far. I've always told people that they need to go in and check out the WNBA, because they are just as good as the NBA, if not sometimes even better. The games that they put together are just absolutely incredible. Now, there's been some key injuries this year that are gonna. Yes, I'm sorry, Christy Wilson, you're correct. The Seattle Storm. Thank you for correcting me on that. But yes, you have your Aces and then your Storm that are basically just gonna always be. They're always there. Those 2 are generally, and the Las Vegas Aces. So this is the funny thing about the Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces, for several years, I feel like all they do every year is just get better and better and better and better. Now, Minnesota, I know Brandon talks about Minnesota's teams also. And what's interesting about Minnesota is that they're the next up-and-coming team. So WNBA, the thing with me for that is that it is so underrated that people need to go out there and watch it a lot more. I wish that WNBA would actually have their own station, so to say, because when you go to check out the NBA, you can see it, ESPN, ESPN2. Sometimes you can even watch it on like Fox and TNT. WNBA needs to have their own station. But going to our next question here, we have a question about the Braves. And I knew that the Braves were going to be freaking brought up. I knew it. And I don't even know why. Because right now I'm so disappointed in the way that the Atlanta Braves are playing. I hate it, man. This sucks. Okay, we come out today and we play the New York Mets. We are one game under 500. We come in at 24-25. The New York Mets come in at 24-20. I'm looking at today going, we have Ian Anderson on the mound. I'm thinking we have a good shot. And then we absolutely come out and freaking get steamrolled by the New York Mets. And I mean just steamrolled. It is ridiculous. When you come out and lose 13-2 to the dang New York Mets, it's just, so angry about it. But this is the one thing about the Atlanta Braves that I will say right now. We are hurting up and down. Mike Soroka, which is supposed to be our ace. The diagnosis on him, Brian Snitker flat out missed that. He came out and said, I misstated. I missed it. He did. He flat out missed it. It was horrible. That Achilles injury was a lot worse than what Brian Snitker was trying to say it was. And so you have Mike Soroka out. You have Christian Pache, who's been out most of the season. I think we've used about 9 different starting outfielders this season. We've had about 7 different starting catchers this season because Darno has been out. Our starting rotation can't stay healthy. But I think once the season goes on, we're going to only get healthier. And so once we actually get healthier, watch out because we're going to actually be a good team. We are. I feel it coming. We need Anderson. We need Soroka. We need Fried. We need Morton. But my thing is, why in the heck is Drew Smiley still starting? Why? The dude is complete and utter garbage. We sign him, and you expect him to come in and be your 5th spot in the rotation, which I'm like, okay, if he comes in and does just enough. But, man, he's reminding me of Tommy Malone right now, man. When we traded for Tommy Malone last year, what a junk move that was. That guy sucked. And now you have Drew Smiley who's sucking just as much. God, that was an awful signing.
Well, Adam, what month is this?
We're just ending May. That's why I'm saying give it halfway through the season, we're going to be fine.
Wait till the All-Star break. You're only 4 games out. Do you really trust the Mets all long term? I don't.
I don't because they choke every year.
And Philadelphia is not any good this year either. Let's just face the facts. It's a Bryce Harper effect. Would you rather go to the injury stage now or later in the season? I'm just saying.
Relax. No, trust me. I get it. I would rather have the injury bug hit right now. Right now. This is when I would rather have the injury bug hit because I would rather be healthy at the end of the season, be banged up at the beginning. And I know you're telling me to relax, okay? But as a fan, when you're expecting your team to come out and play so well, and you're supposed to be in the division and the NL East and be able to technically run away with it, and you come out and you play like this Freddie Freeman, the reigning MVP, he's batting a 240, a 240. Tell me, how is that excused? That's inexcusable. And Freddie Freeman will come out and tell you he has to play better. He has to play better. Okay, Freddie Freeman is your freaking leader of this team. You have Acuna, who's hitting bombs, okay? He's got like 17 home runs. I'm sorry, I'm getting everything out. But, okay, Trey, go ahead. Take it away.
I'm just saying, dude, it's May. How many times do we see the Mets crumble? We see these teams get hot at the end of July for early August and make a run. It's a marathon, buddy. Relax. We all know Freddie Freeman should be hitting better. We all know that. But he's going to get hot. Baseball players get hot. He'll find it probably after the All-Star break. I'm telling you, the reason I'm saying this because I actually picked the Braves to go to the World Series this year too. So I just think, just relax. I figured this out being a big Yankee fan. Yankees always start off crappy, and then they go on this roll. And you want to talk about injuries. Yankees are right there with you with the injuries. We lost Stanton. We lost Hicks for the year. We're playing 6 different outfield. I don't even know who our center fielder is anymore because we're playing different guys. Aaron Judge can't stay healthy. So I'm with you on that. But I've learned in my 34 years of watching Major League Baseball, it's 162 games. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Okay.
Relax.
But let me ask you this. Are you shocked that Stanton's hurt? Heck no.
I'm not shocked any of our players are. We're always hurt.
But Stanton's the main one. That dude's always hurt. Stanton's always freaking hurt.
He always gets hurt right after his hot streak too. Like once it goes kind of fizzling out, he gets hurt. Boom. And I don't know. I just don't understand why we paid him that much money. I know it was a Derek Jeter effect, and as soon as Derek Jeter he wanted to help his home young team out and get Stanton. But I think that was the stupidest contract in Major League Baseball. I don't think they should have traded for Stanton.
That was horrible.
I hated that, especially what wins in postseasons pitching. We've proven that because that's what killed us against the Astros and everything. So I think they should have went after pitching. I mean, they get after Garrett Cole, but they need another help. They did have Kluber, who was starting to pitch really well. Have the number 2 guy. We're going to get her. Then we're going to get Herman, who probably be your number 3. He was pitching really well, and then Kluber goes out and he's on the IL now. So it's typical Yankees. It's early. I've learned it's early in the season. As long as they're hurt now and you fix all the problems, you stay in the race. I mean, you have a chance. So it's after I start worrying after the All-Star break. That's what I say. That's when it starts heating up.
So now Christy Wilson is saying, "How about the Red Sox?" So this is the thing about.
No.
Yes. No, we're
not talking Red Sox.
With you being a Yankees fan, I know you don't want to say it. But here's the thing about the Red Sox. Nobody expected the Red Sox to be this good.
No, I didn't. And
no,
I'm going to give credit to Alex Cora. Everyone cheating without it. The suspension came back, and now he's a hell of a manager, man. He's got that team rolling. He's good.
And this was my thinking, okay? When they took their best player and Andrew Benintendi, and they traded him to the Kansas City Royals, at that point, I had thought they had basically given up, and they're like, okay, we're in rebuild mode, which technically, I guess they still are. But so over the course of it, the Red Sox had gotten rid of their 2 best players. They had gotten rid of Mookie Betts, and then they had taken Benintendi, and they traded him. At that point, you're like, okay, they have basically given up. Well, not so much, because this Red Sox team has actually come out and actually has surprised a lot of people. Do I feel that they'll be able to do this the whole season in the AL East? I don't think so, because with the way that the Rays are playing, because the Rays right now, the Rays are a hot team, and you're going to have the Blue Jays that I'm telling you, they have the capability of getting hot too. But the Red Sox right now, with as good as they've been, it's been shocking to me. But Trey, you can go ahead and take it if you want.
Well, listen, I'm a Yankee guy, and I hate talking about Boston. Everyone knows we don't like each other. But I got to give it up to them, man. It sucks. It sucks because they never seem to be sucky for very long. Like they have one crappy year, and then they're right back in the first place the next year. I don't understand it. I don't know what's going on in that water right now or anything. But I just think Alex Cora's doing an amazing job. I felt like with you, Adam, I felt like they were going to give up on the season and rebuild. But the AL East, man, is dominant. I don't know if they're going to keep it up for the rest of the season. But right now they're cooking all the cylinders. They're in second place behind the Tampa Bay Rays by half a game. And then you have let's look at Tampa Bay and Toronto's a 4th place team in that conference, and they're only 4 games back with a 26-24 record.
And Toronto's not bad.
No, and the Yankees are in 3rd place with 29-23 with all the injuries they've had. So that's the toughest conference or division in baseball right now. And Tampa, I'll take one step forward. Tampa Bay, with the crappy salary cap that they have, I don't know how they keep playing the way they do. I mean, that manager over there is doing great work. hats off to them. I was hoping they win the World Series last year because they beat my Yankees, but that didn't happen. But I hate it. I hate Boston's good, but it's good for Major League Baseball when Boston and New York are both relevant. It's good for baseball. And it's also good for baseball when the Braves, the Dodgers, all the big market teams are good at baseball. So
the only team in the AL East that I can tell you that you don't have to worry about is the Baltimore Orioles. They are the least relevant team in the AL East, which for a young team, they haven't been horrible this year, as bad as I thought they were going to be, but they're still not a spectacular team.
No, I mean, I thought they were showing strides last year. I thought they were a pretty good team last year, but Baltimore's they're like you said, they're very young, but they're going to be good in a couple of years. If they keep everything going the way they are, they're going to be good. And that AL East is going to be dominant for years to come, back to dominance as they always have been. But I just wish someone would knock off the Astros because I'm tired of talking about them too.
Yes, I know. It's usually always Astros. But we do have another question that came up here. And the question is, what is going on with Julio Jones? And where do we believe he's going to end up going? And so when we talk about Julio Jones, if you ask me where he's going, he has come out before and said he would not mind going to play with Cam Newton in New England. He's came out and said that.
Do it. He ain't going to go there.
No, but he's came out and said he would not mind going there. But now there was also a rumor that I heard today, and I have no idea why, but right now that the rumor was the team that's actually leading the race right now to land Julio Jones is actually the Detroit Lions. Because of the draft capital that they had that they got, for Stafford. But I'm like, so you want to take Julio Jones and you want to pair him up with Jared Goff. That's horrible. That is terrible. Now,
from one crappy quarterback to another.
Exactly, because Julio Jones came out, and Trey, I know you're a Cowboys fan.
Oh, I know.
But what Julio Jones came out because Skip Bayless kept saying Julio Jones is going to be a Dallas Cowboy because he was wearing that Dallas shirt. And when Shannon Sharp asked him, Julio said, no, I said I wanted to win. So everybody understands Julio Jones not going to be a Cowboy. If anywhere, he's going to be a Patriot. He could end up being a Lion. Some teams that I could see him maybe as wild card teams, maybe a team like Las Vegas, maybe Miami. Maybe I could see him going there because Miami needs another receiver. I don't want to say Jacksonville.
Oh, if he went to Jacksonville, that team will be up and rising, wouldn't they?
Oh, absolutely, because you'd have Trevor Lawrence, a Keelan Cole, a DJ Chark, and then you would have a Julio Jones. Oh, my gosh. And then James Robinson in the backfield. Woo!
Then you have ETN you can slide in there, too, as a slot or something like that, too. Man, they have weapons everywhere. Then you have Tim Tebow, a tight end, baby.
Oh, my God. If he makes the team. If he makes it.
I feel like he's going to be a coach for the Jacksonville Jaguars. But a team that you're not – and I think this possibility is the Los Angeles Rams.
Maybe.
But if you want to make Aaron Rodgers happy, Green Bay, here's your chance.
That's what people were saying. But this is the thing. I've said this as a Green Bay fan. Rodgers is not, and I repeat, not coming back to Green Bay. I guarantee he is not coming back.
Yeah.
He's done. He has not shown up to practices. And I don't know if you saw his interview the other day when they were talking to him and they said, is your problem Jordan Love? And Rodgers says, no, my problem was never Jordan Love. He's like, Jordan Love is a good kid. He's a nice kid. I don't mind working with Love. He said, my problem is the team philosophy. That's my problem. And so, you know what? Maybe it is. I don't know. We're not there, so we don't know exactly what goes on. But if Julio Jones even went to Green Bay, it's still not going to fix the problem. And another thing, we can't have him because we don't have the cap space. So that's what's going to be killer too.
Because you pay Aaron Rodgers way too much. Giving you a hard time.
we don't. Well, no, but if you traded for him and then you traded Rodgers, it would clear up some of that cap space, and then you might have enough. But then you have Jordan Love with who, and you know what? To help Jordan Love, that might not be that bad. You have Jordan Love with Julio Jones and Devontae Adams. That may not be that bad.
No. I mean, good starting, but I mean, you won't be going to NFC Championship games for a while, but you still. But going back to the Aaron Rodgers thing, I just think he has one foot out the door. I don't think when he says here he's thinking about not playing in the NFL anymore, you got to kind of take it at his word. He has options outside the NFL now. He has a Jeopardy job, which I don't know why Jeopardy wants him because he was god awful on that. It was pretty boring.
You watch what you're saying. You watch what you're saying.
Come on, Ace. You know that was horrible. He was horrible.
Did you realize, though, that when he was there, the ratings were actually up by 14%?
Yeah, because they wanted to watch him flop.
No, come on.
I watched. I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers. I was kind of rooting for the guy, but I think everyone's talking about Aaron Rodgers going to Denver. I don't think that's a possibility. I don't think Aaron Rodgers wants to go to Denver. I really don't.
That was on his list. That was on his list. He said Denver, the Raiders. He said Denver, Raiders, or there was one other team, and it escapes my mind. But
why does he want to go to the team where he's going to face Patrick Mahomes twice a year? I don't understand it. But
because I think it's close to where his fiance lives.
Oh, that's right. He's actually getting married this time. He's actually going to – never mind. I'm not bad, man. This is a Julio Jones question. But, yes, Cowboy fans, you can relax. He's not going to Dallas. We don't need him in Dallas. Your offense is – if Dak Prescott comes back out and all the reports say that his ankle's better than ever in the video clips that they show, I don't know how truthful those are. He looked phenomenal, but they never show the back clips either on highlight reels here in South Texas. So I don't know how good that ankle actually is. We just have to wait till week 1 because he ain't going to play any preseason games. I can get rest assured that. But we have CeeDee Lamb, we have Michael Cooper, we have Michael Gallup, we have Blake Jarwin as a tight end. We have one good running back and one running back that's kind of declining a little bit in Ezekiel Elliott. So we don't need him on the offenses. We need Dallas needs defense. Dallas don't even bite. Don't. And Jerry Jones would go after him if it wasn't for his son Stephen Jones. Let's just be perfectly honest. Jerry Jones wanted Johnny Manziel in that draft pick. So until it was Stephen Jones that pulled it out, because Jerry Jones just wants the flashy player, wants the people that's going to bring money to him. He doesn't care about winning, as much as he says he wants to win a Super Bowl before he's dead. He ain't going to get it until he lets go of that team. So Dallas fans, it ain't going to happen. But man, Julio Jones, I don't see the Detroit Lions. You know what? I would shoot for the Las Vegas Raiders, man. That's exactly who I would go to. I mean, help Derek Carr out. You have a great tight end already. I mean, you have Ruggs there as well, and put Ruggs with Julio Jones. Man, that's going to be a great offense.
So we have a few comments in the comment box, and it looks like we have a few Dallas fans out there. So,
yay!
So Christy Wilson is saying, I don't want Julio Jones in Dallas anyway.
Yeah, I don't either. I'm with you, Christy. I don't either.
So she doesn't want Julio Jones in Dallas. But then you have Randy Cox who's saying, go Cowboys. Now, Trey, understand Randy Cox is that Cowboys fan that comes out every year and says, this is our year. He's that guy.
He was the guy last year. We were 4-9 or we're like 5 games below 500, and we're like, we still have a chance. We're going to lose the Super Bowl.
He's that guy. Yes,
he's that guy.
He's that guy.
So I like Cowboy Nation, but there are a lot of Cowboy. I hate Stephen A. Smith when he says this, but he's actually truly right about this. They're not realistic. They're worse than Laker fans right now. They're not realistic. Let's just like every year, like,
Randy,
this is our year to win the Super Bowl. I'm sorry, it ain't going to happen. This year is a perfect year that this team should, by attempts, make a deep playoff run. But do you really trust Dallas to win? My sister's 26 years old. The last time they won the Super Bowl was a year before she was born. That's how long the Dallas Cowboys have been relevant.
Okay,
Until they do it.
Randy, you're sitting there saying am not, and you're telling me that you're a realistic Dallas fan. You're not a realistic Dallas fan. When we went over this whole salary cap issue, okay, with Dallas and all these other NFL teams, this is what Randy would always say. When Dak Prescott was coming out saying, "Oh, I want my $45 million a year," then Randy's like, "You know what? If I'm GM, I'm giving Prescott his $45 million a year. I'm paying Zeke Elliott $25 million a year, and I'm paying Amari Cooper his 22." And I'm like, so you're gonna have like $1 billion payroll? Is basically what you're saying? That's what you're saying.
Pretty much what you're saying. But what Dallas did with that Dak Prescott contract was actually genius. It's actually saving Dallas money. Most of his money's coming this first year. I think $91 million of that's coming this first year. And after that, it's kind of a little bit. But the Ezekiel Elliott contract's the one I had issue with. Should have never signed him. The NFL running back situation is not what it used to be. It's not the Emmitt Smith, the Barry Sanders, those kind of top running backs as it used to be, where they played 15, 16, 17 years. That running back position, it's a pass-happy league. You can go get a running back at any point in the draft and fill that void at any time if you have a great offensive line like the Dallas Cowboys did. Now, Dallas Cowboys offensive line that's where all your money is right now, Dallas, is in your beat-up offensive line. You have Tyron Smith, who can't stay healthy for 16 games. You have Zach Martin, who already retired. You have Landell Collins, who couldn't stay healthy. You have all this offensive line. You have good backups who could start for any team, and they're all getting injured. So that's where all your money is actually going. I don't mind the Dak Prescott signing because that's what the going market rate. I think they waited too long for Dak Prescott. They should have signed before Carson Wentz. That's where they really should have signed $33 million. Yeah, he's probably not worth that because he hasn't proved anything. He hasn't made it to the NFC Championship game. He's kind of that iffy ankle, but he's the leader and heart of that soul of that team. You saw that as soon as the first 3 games, he was an MVP caliber quarterback. Am I wrong on that? He was playing remarkable numbers. It's just a going rate at the quarterback situation right now. And next year it'll be someone else who gets that big contract, and then the following year will be someone else. So Dak Prescott will be going back. Yeah, he's probably a top-rated quarterback right now, but then after a couple of years, it'll go back down. So I don't mind. The Ezekiel Elliott contract is the one I could not stand. I could not stand that contract. That's too much for a running back, especially a running back who hasn't proven his worth after his rookie year.
And Randy Cox, I was getting there. I was waiting till Trey was done talking. But Trey, you actually have a question that's personally for you. And so,
for me?
Yes, it's for you. So they want to know, what is your opinion on the Reds?
My opinion on the Reds?
Yes.
Well, I mean, they suck. I mean, I can't tell you anything. I couldn't tell you anything about the Reds right now.
Okay, well, I think the thing is because they made that playoff run last year, and everybody knows that they have a young pitching staff. They have the young pitching staff. They had Trevor Bauer, but he's no longer there. He's now with the Dodgers. Right. But they still have that young pitching staff. Right.
Yeah, but the Reds are the organization. They're relevant once every 5 years. Am I right? Like they'll. Yeah, we have hope next year, and then they're back down to the teeter or the bottom of the crap of the barrel. So I didn't put any stock into them last year because last year was kind of a crappy year for baseball anyway because they didn't play a full 162 games. So and then plus they had 8 teams make from each league. Mm-hmm. So this year would show me a lot more with the Reds, like playing that full 162 games. But I'll just tell you, they're in a tough conference too, man. I mean, you have the Cubs, who I picked going to the NL Championship Series. They have St. Louis, who's always relevant, always makes the playoffs. Milwaukee, they're striving over 500 right now. And then you have Cincinnati, who's 6 games under 500. Can they make a run with that young pitch? Can they get hot after the All-Star break? Hell yeah, they can. It's baseball. Any team can get hot at any moment. But do I trust them? Hell no, I don't trust them until they prove something. They haven't been relevant since Pete Rose days. Let's just be honest with ourselves. So I didn't put any stock into them last year. It was a great season last year. Yeah, they're young pitching core, but now after the young, you get tape, right? You get tape exactly what all these pitchers are throwing. The hitters are more confident in seeing them more after you see them a couple times. So I just don't think that they're going to be relevant for more couple of years. I just don't trust that organization.
I hate the Cardinals.
Everyone hates the Cardinals, Will.
Well, I do, and not only do they always beat us in the playoffs, but
they beat everyone.
But the thing about the Cardinals is they're kind of that Red Sox team. They're like the National League Boston Red Sox, to where it doesn't matter who's out there. You're like, how are these guys freaking winning? How? You're like, who's this pitcher? John Smith? Who's this guy? What? How is this guy even doing this good? They just have those guys, and they're constantly making those playoff pushes that you're like, how are they doing it? How? I don't understand. They're that team.
Well, because they're living in a small, I guess, a small sports market, right? So you really don't know much about them. And it's like the San Antonio Spurs effect. Like, how are they good every single year? Well, it's good
because of
system.
Popovich.
Well,
I'm telling you, it's Popovich.
Oh, really? Is it? Because this year, after the big three left, was it really Greg Popovich, or was it that big three? And after Kawhi left, they haven't made the playoffs the last two seasons, first time in 45 years. So I'm really saying it. Was it really Greg Popovich? I don't know. That's a topic for another day. But the St. Louis Cardinals, why they're always – they have a good farm system, just like the Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees. That's how you win in Major League Baseball. It's not with this upper level. It's how you do well in the farm market. And that's what the St. Louis Cardinals are doing right now. It's their farm market that's keeping them afloat for years, year after year after year.
Look, the thing is, so when you look at the Reds, all right, so I think in a way this year they've kind of underachieved when you look at it. And the reason I'm saying that is because their lineup is still, decent. It's not great, but it's decent because you still have a older Joey Votto. Let's say he's not getting he's no spring chicken anymore. But you go out and you get a Mike Moustakas, so that also helps too. But the thing is, you have Joey Votto who's hurt, Mike Moustakas who's also hurt. So your two best players on the offensive side are still hurt. But when you look at your pitching staff, your ace and Sonny Gray is not, he's not terrible. He's still that pitcher that every team would want, but he's not your typical ace. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not your typical ace.
No, he's usually like your third guy in your rotation, third or fourth guy in a rotation kind of a guy. He ain't your ace. You're right.
Yeah, and so that's why if a lot of teams were to trade for Sonny Gray, so let's say like an Atlanta Braves team or like a Dodgers team, they would not bring him in to be their ace. They would be like, we're going to stick you at like third, we're going to stick you at fourth, because that's typically what Sonny Gray does. But this year, he's got to go in that role to where he has to be the ace of the Cincinnati Reds. And that's not his job. Like, that's not who he is. He's not that ace. Then you have Luis Castillo, who's their number 2 pitcher. He's young. He's good, but he's also not the ace. He's typically around maybe also like a 3-4. And then you have your Tyler Mahle. Now, understand with Tyler Mahle, though, he's actually really young. Okay, this is only like his third season. He's only getting better and better. So watch out, because I think within a couple of years, he's going to be their ace.
Yeah, you're right. But
so
I think like you said, they're young. I think the pressure from last season's getting in their head a little bit, and everyone's expecting to do too much, and they're not living up to the hype just because they're a young team, right? So give it maybe 3 or 4 years, they'll be back to relevancy, but not until then. I don't see it.
All right, then it looks like our final question of the night will be about the San Diego Padres.
Good God.
Yeah, they want to know what our thoughts are on the San Diego Padres. So when you look at the San Diego Padres, they have a good enough pitching staff to where they can make a deep run. And you obviously know that their lineup is good too. Fernando Tatis Jr., everybody's talking about how he's the best young player in the game. That's what a lot of people say. But you have but you also have Vlad Guerrero Jr. Don't forget about him. He's also good. You also have Ronald Acuna Jr. Let's not forget about him. He's also good. So you have a lot of young, good pitchers. Now, I'm not taking anything away from Fernando Tatis Jr. because, yeah, I mean, the kid's a stud. He's really, really good. They signed him to that massive contract. I mean, massive contract. And hopefully it pans out. But in baseball, it's different. There's no technical salary cap in baseball because you can go out and sign basically whoever you want. As long as you can pay the luxury tax, you're fine.
Yep.
And when you look at the Padres, Trey, how far of a run do you see that the Padres are going to be able to make? Because they are in the same division as the Dodgers, which are loaded. The Giants, who are right now, they're overachieving because the Giants, nobody saw them, the Giants being this good this year. So they're actually right now, they're in a tough division.
I mean, they're in the top. I mean, that's the division's top heavy, right? You have those three monsters, or not monsters. You have the Dodgers and the Padres, who everyone probably picked 1-2, no matter how you picked it. The Giants are overachieving. The Rockies just suck. And we all know what Arizona's doing this year. Arizona shouldn't even have a baseball team this year. So, actually, I picked the Padres to actually go to World Series. I actually picked them to go not the World Series, to the NL Championship game against the Braves. The reason I did that is because the way they played last year and the way that they got better in the offseason as well. And I just didn't believe in the Dodgers. You know how hard it is to go back-to-back in World Series. Like, everyone has that typical World Series hangover, right? And the Dodgers are kind of went through it a little bit this year. But they do have a great team. It wouldn't surprise me. But it's hard to repeat as champions. Just ask anyone. Ask the Yankees were the last team to do it. I think that was in, 97, 98 or something like that, the last team to actually do it. So Padres actually picked to go win the NL West, and I think that they're going to meet the Braves. That's who I picked to meet the Braves in the NL Championship. They're making me proud right now. They're making me look like a genius.
This is my only problem right now with the Padres, though, is that right now their 1-2 punch in the starting rotation, as everybody knows, is Yu Darvish, and then they went out and traded for Blake Snell, which I thought, that was actually a good trade because they needed another pitcher. But then after you get past Yu Darvish and you get past Blake Snell, are there other pitchers going to be good enough? You have a Paddock who's you're still not quite sure about him. He's young. So the top two, I'm not so worried about. It's their next three that I'm worried about, that I don't know if they have a strong enough pitching rotation to take them where they need to go. Now, is their lineup good enough? Absolutely, because you have a Tatis Jr., you have a Manny Machado, you have a Tommy Pham. I mean, they have a good enough lineup to get them there. It's their pitching rotation that scares me the most.
And you have every right to be worried about that, because after 1-2, what wins in postseason baseball is pitching.
Pitching, absolutely.
Pitching wins it. So that's why the Boston Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Rays, they had great pitching for many years. That's why they were always revel in the postseason. Boston Red Sox, St. Louis Cardinals. But remember, we still have the MLB trade deadline, and a lot of these pitchers are going to be up for the market as well. So right now, 1-2 punch, they need help at the pitch. That's the only place they need help with, is probably to find that third guy. They probably don't even find a fourth guy, because come playoff time, you get that 1 day off to rest. So you can probably pitch on 3 days rest, or you do a bullpen game, a little like a starter rotation. But what they call it, the starter. Not the starter. Where the relievers pitch all games. So,
yeah.
But right now, I mean, whatever, it's working for them. I mean, they're best team in the NL. So
maybe they'll come out and trade for Drew Smyly. Hopefully they'll take Drew Smyly away from my Atlanta Braves. I'm really hoping so, because I can't stand that guy. So
Smyly's going to be with you till the end, buddy. I'm sorry.
The way it's going right now, he will be. But if Andopoulos is smart, he'll get rid of him. So please get rid of Drew Smiley. That was horrible. Horrible. And don't forget, Ozuna is out for 6 weeks now because his fingers got broke. So now Andopoulos is on the phone trying to find his replacement. So that sucks. But anyway, so we're finally at that hour mark. So Trey, thanks for joining us tonight. But you have 30 to 45 seconds to wrap up whatever it is you want to say.
Whatever I want to say?
Go ahead. Whatever you want to say.
For the love of God, NBA, please, for the love of God, stop flopping. Stop flopping. Stop being prima donnas. Yeah, we all know Russell Westbrook got popcorn thrown on him. It's popcorn. Give me a freaking break. No reason to charge them. And then these players, how would you like if we threw popcorn on you and you walk into the fax machine? Wouldn't mind it at all because it's popcorn. Who gives a flying flip? Just walk off and smile. Spitting, on the other hand, don't do that. That's horrible. That should be assault charges. I agree with Trey Young on that one. Don't use racial slurs at the Utah's known. Utah fans need to start doing something to rebuild that fan base because it's getting horrible right now. I think there's like 7 different instances where the racial slur has been used in Utah. So NBA fans, please stay classy. And for the love of God, NBA players, stop flopping and crying to NBA refs for every little thing for a flagrant foul. It's getting ridiculous. And that's why a lot of people are not watching it anymore.
Definitely. And well, not only on the flopping side that people aren't watching it anymore, it's the double standards that people are stopping to watch.
I agree. I was going to say that, but I was going to go on for 3 hours on that.
No, it's fine. Because if people want to hear about it, they can watch us on Thursday. I'll just put it like that. They can see us on Thursday on Speak Out, and they can hear our opinions on that. So, but other than that, thank you, Trey, for hopping on to Sports Minute at the last minute for us and doing the fill-in. So keep in mind, every Saturday is open forum on Sports Minute, so you can get questions ready and throw them in the comment box, and we'll answer them the best that we possibly can. So with that, I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and don't forget tomorrow morning, you will see another episode of So You Think You Know, which is our trivia show. So check that out tomorrow morning. So be ready for that. Everybody have a great night, and we'll see you then.